We are live here at Koza Church at Guzape Hills to witness the sharing and the giving of Palliatives to Nigerians and the masses at large. And you can see right behind me, the sharing of these palliatives are being done both to Christians and to Muslims. And compared to the recent happenings in Nigeria, where we hear of the different stampedes happening across the country, where children and women are being killed and stamped on because of the sharing of these palliatives, unlike compared to that here in Koza Church, you can see how organized and arranged it has been so far. It is advisable for other organizations and the government at large to take some of these tips and organizational strategies that have been put in place to make sure that these palliatives get to everyone and everybody at large. In a series of heartbreaking stampedes across Nigeria's cities of Anambra, Ibadan, and Abuja, at least 67 people, including children, tragically lost their lives in just a few days during food distribution efforts. The worsening cost of living crisis in a generation, which appears to have deteriorated into chaos, has raised an important question. Are these deadly surges a direct result of the crippling economic instability in the country?
The problem is when there is so much clusters of crowds in one place, it's likely to be chaotic. But when the crowd can see that, there is abundance, one of the things we did is to put up this pyramid to let them know that everybody would get. It's more than enough provided for. Jesus has paid it all. So, and those plan is what led to today. You can see how organized it is. Today we served about 11,000 people and it's seamless. There's no cry, no shout. It's so joyful.
In response, Nentawi Yilwadda, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, called for better crowd control and emphasized the importance of planning and coordination in aid efforts. The federal government has mandated that all food distributions be approved by relevant authorities in advance to ensure safety. However, many argue that while these measures are crucial, they do not address the root causes of hunger and poverty, driving people to risk their lives in search of food.
The protocol, I think, is the first major challenge that we're having in this country. And so we have to look at the issue of the protocol. And this stampede happens everywhere, globally, even in developed worlds, where the events are not properly managed. So I think we need to look at the most important, the primary cost of this issue, where events are organized without without following the basic protocol of such event. You can't just throw open a distribution of food and say, come and your population of like Ibadan, your population of over 2 million people inside Ibadan, and then you're throwing open that you want 5,000 people can collect out of 2 million people.
On December 23, 2024, the Commonwealth of Zion Assembly Koza Church in Guzape Hills, Abuja, organized a palliative distribution event that stood in stark contrast to the chaotic scenes witnessed elsewhere. Taking lessons from the recent stampedes, Koza implemented robust safety protocols, deploying church workers and collaborating with law enforcement to manage the crowd. The event was a success, with no fatalities, and became a model of how community organizations can distribute aid while ensuring the safety of those in need.
A focal team, which are broken down into subsections and all of that. We have a full security team who are also liaising with the government in partnership, as you can see, police vehicles everywhere. So it's a partnership of government, but then within our own church, we have a large workforce which we've been able to deploy in small microcosms to be able to manage the clusters. So we showed up very early to prepare for those who are our guests, which are the people we are sharing these items to. We've been here since 4 a.m. And then we prayed and we started ahead. And I think we started as the first batch by 5:30 in the morning because, it's easier to deal with people as they come. So the key for government is, to always ensure that the citizens are adequately catered for. And like I told you, one of the things is to let people know that this would go round. And once it's able to get the information that no matter what, it will be more than enough, it is well organized, and then to get a partnership with government. Now, you can say, okay, you don't want government involved in your stuff, but you need government, because you can't have a show of force without, the Nigerian police, the army, and all of that.
Despite the success of COSA's palliative distributions, experts warn that charity alone cannot resolve the hunger crisis gripping Nigeria. The Stampedes exposed a deeper systemic problem, widespread poverty, and a flattening economy that forces people to risk their life for a basic meal. To prevent future tragedies, there must be a fundamental shift in the country's economic policies.